The UFC has given us a bit of a stinky one this week, but you can't have good fight cards every single week. Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivac 2. Coming off last fight night predictions, I would have gone 3 wins and 2 losses, but I would have made over 2 units of profit. Let's try to duplicate that level of success in this one. First fight of the night is gonna be a women's MMA rematch. Talitha Alencar versus Stephanie Luciano. This was a Dana White Contender Series fight that went to a draw. Talitha dominated the grappling, Stephanie dominated the striking. Definitely one you should fade. Stephanie has to avoid the fight going down to the ground. Talitha has 1 round of cardio in her. I think Stephanie's gonna win, but definitely stay away. On to the next one, we have Jarno Aarons versus Youssef Zalal. Youssef Zalal impressed me so much in his win against Billy Quarantillo, the first guy to defeat Billy Q by sub in his professional career. Not only that, he ran through him, made it look easy. Billy Q did not look UFC caliber, and if a fighter can do that, you're definitely on the radar. Youssef Zalal, I expect him to dominate Jarno Aarons over 3 rounds and get the job done by a decision. He can also get a sub, so look out for that. Next up, we have Carl Williams versus Janata Diniz. And Diniz is coming off a KO victory against Austin Lane. But if you look at that fight, Lane had his way in the first round, dominating him with the wrestling. He just could get a takedown in the second, where he got finished. Carl Williams should look to implement a similar game plan as Lane did in the first and take Diniz down. If the fight stays standing, he needs to stay out of range from the power shots and hope for the best. I don't see him winning a stand-up fight, and he is a guy that likes to stand up a bit too much, which is why you should fade this fight as well. But once Carl Williams has a wrestling heavy game plan, he should get this one done with ease. Next up, we have Cara Rosa versus Paniki Anzaren. These 2 girls have been in the UFC for quite some time. I see this fight going to decision, but I don't see who's gonna win it. Leaning more towards Cara Rosa. Next up, we have Charalampos Gregorio versus Toshiomi Kazama. And Toshiomi, he gets finished time and time again. I don't trust his chin for nothing. And I expect Gregorio to do exactly what he did in the Smotherman fight and finish Toshiomi early. I'm putting a bet on Gregorio to get it done by KO or sub. On to the next one. Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler. And this one is definitely going to decision. But I think Chelsea Chandler's pressure is going to get her a favorable result on the judges' scorecard. I see Chelsea Chandler getting the job done against Yana Santos. Yana Santos is not somebody to be sleeping on, but I'm going to be placing a bet on Chelsea Chandler. Next up, we got Chris Gutierrez versus a short notice opponent in Kwang Lee. And I have absolutely no idea what Lee brings to the table, but I know what Chris Gutierrez does. He's a phenomenal striker with good distance management, and I see him picking Lee apart. Really should study this fight before, which is why I'm fading it, but I think Gutierrez gets it done by decision. Next up, we have Danny Barlow versus Veretennikov. And Danny Barlow packs a lot of power in that left hand. I see him being able to catch Veretennikov coming in and finish him. The play for this one is Danny Barlow to win inside the distance. Next up, we got Chepe Mariscal versus Damone Jackson. And let's be honest here, Jackson is taking a huge step up in competition from his last fight, and Chepe Mariscal is taking a step down. Chepe Mariscal coming off a controversial win against Morgan Charrier, and he has been on a winning streak. Damone Jackson, he's coming off a win against Alexander Hernandez, but let's be honest, Alexander Hernandez is not on the same level as Chepe Mariscal. I'm waffling a bit, but I see Chepe Mariscal making a very scrappy fight, and he excels in fights like this. If he tries to make it technical, he's going to put himself in trouble of losing a decision, but if he keeps it scrappy, he can get some knockdowns. He can even get a finish. I see Chepe Mariscal winning, and I'm really confident on that one. And now we're moving in to the main event, Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivac. And these guys fought before in the past, where Marcin Tybura got the better of him, and I see it going the exact same way in this one. I see Marcin Tybura getting the job done. Now, as far as method of victory, I'm leaning more towards a very late stoppage because Sergey Spivac has not got any cardio whatsoever, but he is a train and you should look out for him in the early rounds. If he was to win, he's going to win by an early finish, but as the fight goes on, it favors Tybura, and I see Tybura as being durable enough to survive against Spivac's onslaught. So give me Marcin Tybura to get the job done. And this has been the UFC Fight Night predictions for Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivac 2. Be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think about the picks down below. Subscribe. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter. Support the channel on the Patreon. And I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, game time.